There are towns in Texas that feel forgotten, like time simply turned its back and walked away. Places where the wind doesn't just blow, it whispers. Places where people don't talk much about what they've seen after dark. On the edge of the Panhandle, past the long hallways and quiet fields, is a little dot on the map called Turkey, Texas. Population, a few hundred. Stories, enough to chill the blood of anyone brave enough to listen. Tonight, we explore the ghost lights, the phantoms, the vanishings, and the dark legends rooted so deep in the dirt that even the prairie storms can't wash them away. Welcome to Turkey. Welcome to the silence. Welcome to the place where the plains never sleep. Turkey began, like many small Texas settlements, as a spot on a creek where wild turkeys gathered. But as the years passed, the population shrank, the buildings aged, and the strange stories grew louder. Locals talk about the stillness here, the way the nights seem too empty, the way the land feels watched, and the way the wind carries sound that don't belong on this earth. But the stories don't begin with the ghost. They begin with the land itself. Turkey sits near the far reaches of the Palo Duro Canyon system, a place carved by wind, water, and war. For centuries, the Comanche and other tribes used these canyons as refuge, battlegrounds, and sacred sites. The land beneath Turkey is lined with unmarked graves, forgotten trails, and bloodstains older than America itself. Even modern ranchers say their cattle avoid certain ridges. Some won't graze near the canyon edges at dusk. They say there's something out there, something old, something that walks when the sun goes down. The town may be small, but the shadows around it are enormous. Unlike the famous Marfa lights, the ghost lights near Turkey don't have tourist signs or brochures. No, these lights belong to the locals, and the locals barely talk about them. Witnesses describe small orbs drifting across farm roads, blue, white, and sometimes red, silent, floating, moving with deliberate, unnatural smoothness. Some say the lights follow your vehicle. Others say they appear only when you're alone, deep in the back roads, miles from town. One rancher described a glowing orb that drifted beside his truck window for 3 miles. When he finally stopped, the light stopped too, hovering, pulsing, watching. He drove away without looking back. But there's a darker legend, a whispered one. The lights don't just follow people. Sometimes they lead them off the road, into fields, into places where the ground sinks, where the scrub brush hides deep crevices, places where finding a body would take months. Locals warn, if a light ever waves at you, don't follow. People who follow don't come home. Highway 70 cuts through Turkey like a long, dark scar. Truckers who run that route after midnight tell a story, quietly, usually over black coffee at a truck stop. They call her the woman in the road. She appears wearing clothes from the 40s or 50s. A dress, a shawl, sometimes a suitcase. Always walking, never looking up. But here's the part nobody likes to say aloud. She disappears when headlights touch her, like she was never there. Like the desert swallowed her whole. Some say she's the spirit of a woman killed in a forgotten car wreck. Some say she was running from something worse than a collision. And one older driver claimed that when he passed through Turkey at 3 a.m., he saw footprints materialize on the shoulder, one by one, right beside his moving truck. But no figure, no woman, just fresh footprints that vanished into the gravel. This is the oldest story in Turkey, passed down quietly, cautiously, from one generation to the next. Children in the area, especially those from ranch families, talk about seeing tall men on the ridge lines at sunset. Not cowboys, not hunters. Tall, thin, still. Too still. Parents dismiss it as imagination, but the descriptions never change. Dark silhouettes with long legs, long arms, heads bowed slightly as if watching. No one has ever gotten close to them, because they say that if you stare too long, the tall men disappear and reappear closer. Never running, never making a sound, just shifting from ridge to ridge to ridge until the sun is gone, and then nobody looks outside anymore. Some locals believe the tall men are spirits tied to the canyon. Others think there's something older than the legend. But there's one story Turkey residents don't joke about. A boy in the early 1990s claimed a tall man came to the fence line of his family's property, closer than ever reported. The boy said the figure bent down, as if kneeling, as if studying him. The next morning, there were 2 footprints in the dirt, each one nearly 2 feet long. They've never been explained. Turkey has had more than its share of disappearances for a town its size. Most are written off as runaways or drifters, or travelers who passed by and didn't want to stay found. But the locals talk about a pattern. People vanish on clear nights, when the stars are bright, when the plains are quiet enough to hear your own heartbeat. One hunter disappeared 5 miles north of Turkey. His truck left running, his rifle still inside. No tracks, no signs of struggle, just the vast emptiness swallowing another name. Some believe the ghost lights lure people away. Others think the tall men take them. And a few whisper about voices in the fields, faint, calling your name in someone else's voice. Sheriff records may not confirm the stories, but the ranchers do. And ranchers don't scare easy. The canyon near Turkey is beautiful by day. By night, it's a mouth. A deep, ancient mouth, breathing cold air and old memories. Campers report hearing drumming that fades when approached, chanting in languages no one recognizes, footsteps pacing around their tents, stones being thrown by unseen hands. One couple camping near the rim woke up to the sound of a woman crying, soft, distant. When they went to help, the crying grew louder and louder and louder until it was coming from behind them. But nobody was there, just empty darkness and the sense that something was waiting for them to look too long. Turkey today is peaceful on the surface, A tight-knit community, polite, quiet, and proud. But underneath, the stories haven't stopped. Kids still see the tall men. Lights still drift across old ranch roads. Truckers still avoid Highway 70 after midnight. And the canyon still breathes at night. Some towns are haunted by tragedy. Turkey feels haunted by the land itself. If you ever find yourself driving through Turkey, Texas, roll down the window, listen to the wind. It carries memories here, some human, some not. And if you see a light drifting across the road, or a woman walking alone, or a tall shape standing on the sunset ridge, just keep driving, because in Turkey, the darkness watches you back. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of Texas's eeriest towns, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another journey into the unknown. And tell me in the comments, have you ever seen ghost lights or roadside phantoms in the Texas Panhandle? Your story might be featured in a future video. Sleep tight, and remember, the plains don't sleep with you.